right, guys, we're going to go ahead and read chapter 4. So chapter 4 is called Science. On my way to school in the morning, there's a huge rainbow arching across the sky. I've seen little rainbows after it rains, but never a big one like this. And then I see that it is actually double. The second arch is faint, but you can still see the colors. I hurry down the hill ahead of Ken. I've seen plenty of rainbows in my life, Ray says, but I'd say this one is the most magnificent. It's double, I say. Ray takes off his glasses. You're right, Anna, he says. I wonder what makes that happen, he smiles. Could it be double raindrops? I know that water breaks the light into colors, but I have no idea why. We watch until the rainbow fades. How many more minutes, Ray? I ask. He looks at his watch. You got about 8 minutes today. I see Allison coming down the hill. She has on a short skirt with a jacket that's made out of the same material. When she gets to the curb, Ray asks her if she saw the rainbow. Allison shakes her head. Nope, she says. Then she sees Lucy. I like your sweater. I like your jacket, Lucy says. Ray looks at me. Too bad you can't keep a rainbow in your lunch bag, he says, moving into the intersection so we can cross. Too bad I can't stay with you instead of going to school, I want to say. Too bad we can't go to the library and find out what causes rainbows. Single, double, or triple. Ken joins his friends on the field. I walk over to the 4th grade girls. Laura is jumping rope and counting in Spanish. I can count in French and German, Ashley says. I can say hello like bonjour, Lucy says. She curtsies and nods her head like a French schoolgirl. Then she giggles. Do you know what je t'aime means? We shake our heads. I don't know if I should tell you, she looks around. It means I love you. The way Lucy talks makes me blush. Hey, Anna, can you speak Japanese? Allison asks. Chinese, I say. I mean Chinese? A little, I say. Say something. I think fast. She means thank you, I say. Allison tries to say she, but it comes out like she's saying she instead of she. She turns to Lucy. She for letting me borrow your yellow sweater. How do you say you're welcome? Lucy asks. I have no idea. They don't say you're welcome in Chinese, I say. Weird, Lucy says. So she said they don't say it because she doesn't know how to say it and she didn't want to embarrass herself in front of them. Soon lots of girls are saying she for this and for that. What they don't know is that in Chinese, she means you have to pee. Laura drops the jump rope. Did I tell you that I'm taking Irish dance lessons? Then she shows us the new dance she's learning where you put your hand on your hip and spin around with a partner, who is Allison. Finally, the bell rings. We go to Mr. Schmitz's room for science. There's a bathtub full of pillows in the back room where you can read when you're done with your work. But first, we have to gather data. The data is observations about different birds' nests that are out on the shelf. We have to write our observations in the column on the worksheet. I bet this one's a blue jay's nest, Laura says, and this one's a cardinal. Allison nods. This one is for a sparrow, Tony says. How do they know stuff like that? I have no idea what kind of bird makes what kind of nest. Anyway, those are not observations. Those are conclusions, and Mr. Schmitz didn't say to conclude anything. Observe means to look closely, Mr. Schmitz says. I see a pill bug on nest A, so I write that. And there's a small blue piece of paper stuck in the nest that might be from a candy wrapper. Nest B is falling apart on one side. As soon as I finish writing in the columns, I can turn in my paper and read in the bathtub. I bend over to smell the nests. They all smell the same, like mud and grass. I write that across all the columns because there's no reason to write it over again 5 times. What are you doing? Allison asks when she sees my big printing. They all smell the same, I say. Weird, she says. I don't know if she means the smell or the writing or me. So Anna's a little self-conscious about everything she's doing because her friend Allison is being friends with Lucy and Laura, and they're not really being friends with her. My worksheet is getting messy because I'm in a hurry. I want to throw my paper away and start over with a fresh one, but then I'll never have time to read in the bathtub. Laura is drawing little pictures in each column. Everything is labeled very neatly. Allison's columns are full too. She sees me looking at her paper and covers it with her arm. And y'all can see in this picture, she kind of covers it with her arm. And then over here, all the pictures are in a row. I don't want to copy, and I've done enough observing. Mr. Schmitz has some picture books that I remember from when I was little, like about Alexander's terrible day. So I get into the bathtub and read that one. Then I pick up a thick book with a picture on the cover of a girl who looks about 12 and a boy who looks about 10. I read the jacket. The kids are stuck in a museum overnight. It sounds good, so I lie down in the bathtub and open the book. I like the way it starts. The older sister is annoyed at her brother, but you can tell she really likes him. Spacey Anna, Lucy says. Book girl, somebody whispers. Everyone is looking at me. They're lined up by the door, ready to go. I climb out of the bathtub, but my foot gets stuck in one of the pillows and I fall forward. Luckily, I put my hands down so I don't really hurt myself, but my feet are tangled and the books are all over the place. Somehow I get up and make my way to Miss Simmons' classroom. Then I realize I still have Mr. Schmitz's book and I forgot to ask him if I could borrow it. I'll go back later to ask, but for now I have the book to read. These two kids find all this money in a fountain in the museum and they start filling their pockets with it. That's not really stealing because the people left it there, but it sort of is because they didn't mean for it to go to these two kids. Are you all right? Someone asks. I look up. Laura has her head next to mine. I don't know what she's talking about because I am in my book world. What? Did you hurt yourself when you fell? I shake my head. I'm fine. Then I turn right back to my book, but I'm not in my book world anymore. Is that a good book? Laura whispers. Yep. What's it about? A girl and her brother who get shut inside a museum. Do they sleep there? So if you'll notice, Laura is seeming a little interested in her book and Anna is being very, very short with her. I nod. I wish I could sleep in the museum. I bet it's peaceful there, and I wouldn't have to listen to my dad shouting and breaking stuff. What stuff? I ask. Miss Simmons is looking at us, so we have to stop whispering. I wonder if Laura means he breaks cups and plates. Why would somebody break their own stuff anyway? So Laura is kind of wanting to get stuck in the museum because her dad shouts and breaks stuff at home. So that's where we're going to stop. We're going to stop at the end of chapter 4, okay? Bye.